cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
How sweet, fresh meat, Evil Dead Inks.
In the boiler room this week, not the back room. And you got the red light to match, even though this is just an audio podcast.
This is just my regular light in this room, but it's more appropriate. Everything should be neon green. It's not, maybe not necessarily we're in the boiler room this week, but more like in a rave club. Yeah, put some techno music to this movie and it might fit better.
I love this movie. I have professed my love for this movie over and over and over again, and I will continue to do so. You know, we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we said we're about to get into that territory of pop culture icon Freddy Krueger.
We're here.
And we've finally arrived, and it ain't Dr. Seuss.
No, it's the Fat Boys and hosting MTV hours and getting, like, I think in Los Angeles they had we proclaimed this Freddy Krueger Day. Like, they're celebrating a child molester murder in Los Angeles, the city of sin.
This movie also got him his syndicated TV show.
Yep.
Go ahead and rewind that. Listen to me say that again. Fred Krueger has a syndicated TV show.
And coming from the Freddy fandom icon, everything here, it is not a great show.
It really isn't. Evil and I give episodes of that show a chance frequently, and a lot of them fall flat. But
it's fun the ambition we have, because we'll forget about it and we'll be like, we're gonna watch we'll get together and we're like, we're gonna watch a bunch of episodes. We're gonna burn through a season today, and 3 episodes later we're like, I don't want to do anymore.
My head hurts. I'm bored. I want to go home. Like, no, it's just not really a good time.
It's a morphine drip fever, high fever television show. Like, you feel like you might be sick and losing your mind when you're watching it.
And it's funny because I have rose-colored glasses for it, and I think you do too. And plus, it's Freddy Krueger.
I'll still buy the shit out of that if it ever gets released in Blu-ray. Like, I will own it first day, fighting people to get my hands on it, even though it's like, oh God.
Maybe if it ever gets a proper release and the quality is better, we might be able to stomach them.
Yeah, that's
more.
That's the problem with these. It's just the grainy quality of it. You're still you're looking through rose-colored glasses as you're talking about it. Mm-hmm. You want to like it so much.
I do, and I remember watching it as a kid, and I think it was mainly the commercials and the opener, and every time right when we would come back from a commercial, that's all the stuff I love. Yeah, I don't necessarily love any of the other bullshit.
We remember all the highlights. We don't remember all the drudgingness we had to get through in between all these little segments.
Right, but that whole TV series, Freddy got his look from the Part 4 film. The Elm Street house is the set from the Part 4 film. So it is kind of a weird tie-in. They almost belong together, although Freddy's Nightmares kind of tarnishes the legacy of Elm Street 4, I guess. Because to me, plot or no, Elm Street 4 is just so much fun that it really is I would like to watch a Freddy movie.
Yeah, it hits on every cylinder of what we define as a popcorn movie. It's riding the success of Part 3 and continuing the story, at least for a little bit, of what's left of the Dream Warriors going into 4. And we get Rennie Harlan getting his kind of big break solely because Bob Shea thought he was a big guy and could work around the clock, and no idea he was bringing in his own kind of style, which would be propel him to do stuff like Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger. Like, really kind of propelled him into doing bigger things starting with this flick right here.
Yeah, started with Elm Street 4, and then oddly enough, he went over and did some stuff. Either it was Empire or was Full Moon. He did some stuff for Charlie Band and did Prison. And
yes,
you know, Rennie Harlan at the time, he was this struggling screenwriter,
bum.
director, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, essentially a bum. You know, crashing on people's couches and
eating tuna
and
out
whatnot.
of cans.
And guys like Bob Shea and Richard Band, or Charles Band, gave him, Richard is the composer, Charles Band, gave him, you know, a place to stay and furniture and got him gigs. And, man, he did a great job on this movie. When you watch some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, like, as you do, and
as we
kind of
do.
see that this might have been a very ambitious project for him, because if you really pay attention to some of the B-roll and behind-the-scenes footage, actors are frustrated, stunt performers are frustrated with him, and I think it also is partially because English is not his first language.
That doesn't help at all. Yeah,
something lost in translation there, perhaps, but he does a great job.
Yeah,
what's on screen is good.
Well, yeah, he knocked it out the park, but yeah, it was a super ambitious filming schedule. This came out a year later, at most, from part 3, and I know they were saying they had the poster design done up before they even had the film finished, and they were even filming stuff, I think, 2 weeks prior to their release. And I think, like, Howard Berger was like, I think the movie comes out in, like, half a month, like, and we're still shooting stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you did it, man. Back in the day, it was Wild Wild West. Let's make a poster, get everybody excited, and we'll figure out the rest of the bullshit later. And there's something really admirable about that. Could you fucking imagine? I mean, I guess we kind of do that now. Like, they'll have like a teaser poster for like X-Men, and it'll be like metal with like a big X, and it'll be like coming soon. And then everybody that walks by it in the theater fucking collectively busts a nut in their pants, like, oh God. And they probably don't even have a frame of digital film shot.
I mean, yeah, this is, I don't know, this is in a different level to me, because this is, again, it's the Part 4's poster is a hand-drawn poster from the same guy that's been doing the previous ones, and it's got a lot of interesting things in it. It's got the junkyard background. It's got the hole Freddy's going to come out of from the junkyard. Got this big oversized head of Freddy, kind of like how the Part 3 one looks, with this blue hand with spikes around the wrist is pulling at his face, and just a lot of kind of stuff going on there. And you're like, okay, I guess we're making this.
That poster art, dude. Again, 2 weeks ago we talked about this, but the early posters for Elm Street, 1, 2, 3, 4, just gorgeous. Like, this is what you and I both love about movie covers and posters, is that hand-drawn or hand-painted, like, a lot of love went into it, and you look at it, and it's like a fucking tractor beam. It's so hard to explain to someone who didn't grow up in a video store culture, but, like, you would look at that, and the sides of the box had, like, the orange and the white lettering, you know, and you just get fucking drawn, and you're like, what? You gotta rent it. You just have to.
Yeah, it's I don't know, maybe that just appeals to us, is that we just like that you can tell hours went into the production of this poster, as opposed to, you know, a couple hours at most,
minutes.
You know, throwing some shit together, on the computer. It's like, it's kind of slapdash kind of thing. This, you could tell, took a long time to get done, and care and time was put into doing it. And you don't have, and there's outside of, you know, Freddy's kind of floating head there getting torn apart by this hand, you don't have, you know, any casts members on the poster. You don't have the traditional floating heads, as we talk about, on there. It's just kind of it's a standalone kind of piece of art.
But now that you mention that, it does seem kind of fitting that Freddy is the only thing really prominently featured on this cover, because like we discussed a few weeks back and a few weeks before that and a few weeks before that, this is the complete shift of it isn't, Patricia Arquette, Ken Sagoes, and Robert Englund. It is Robert Englund as Freddy, followed by, Rodney Eastman, Ken Sagoes, fucking Tuesday Night, whatever.
Yeah, you get Robert before the title. And that starts in this movie, and with the posters. It's in the 3 previous poster designs there is Dream Warriors. Jesse is in part 1, Nancy is in the original, and now it's like none of those, here's the visual, it's showing you the shift, now it's the Freddy show. And when you get to part 5, it's just Fred Krueger. And when you get to 6, 90% of that's Fred Krueger. They do put
2 Freddys.
Yeah, they put I'm thinking of the traditional.
He's driving the bus and...
Yeah, you got the traditional poster, but I'm thinking of the artwork one they did later for part 6, where you get a woman sleeping in a bed at the bottom of that poster. So you get a little bit of reprieve there, and you go into 7, and he's still the main focus, the only focus. So this is the official shift in more ways than one, that this is the Freddy show now.
Yep, because we are marketing to the audience that they would like to see a Freddy film, a Freddy heavy film. That was kind of tough to say.
Freddy heavy film.
But with this film, Tuesday Night steps in and takes over the role of Kristen.
No idea why, because I've heard different reasons for between Patricia wanted more money,
right?
They wanted to pay her less money.
Probably that seems the most likely.
She had other work going on, or she was pregnant. There was 3 or 4 different stories floating around, and I don't know who's got the right one on why she didn't return.
But yeah, Tuesday Night steps in, does an okay job, which is funny because I love this movie so much, but I'm not the biggest Tuesday Night fan. I just feel like she's not as good as Patricia Arquette, but who is? Patricia Arquette is amazing. But luckily, Tuesday Night doesn't stick around long because Elm Street has this kind of motif. If you make it through the previous film, you're going to get bumped off, or at least right here in this middle of and they do that in 4, and then they do that in 5, where a previous cast member gets bumped off lickety-split.
But 5 we get away with Lisa Wilcox's character technically lives through the series and gets away. This is also, I think this is where the shift and the rift, I should say, also takes place between Wes and New Line Cinema, because Wes was one of the writers, one of the main writers for part 3, and wrote the script, had mostly his characters, and then I think that's where the fallout happened going into 4, which wasn't repaired until New Nightmare. And it might have been, a thing of, we're definitely fuck the people that were in his last movie. We're going to bring them over, sure, but we got to just bump them off super quick. Boom, 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 boom. Get them out of the way. Get our new people in there.
Yeah, and it works. But, now that we're older, sure, I'd like to see a little bit more of Rodney Eastman and Ken Sagoes, for sure. Man, they do Rodney Eastman super dirty. He's got 4 lines in this movie.
Well, how many lines did he have in the previous movie? 2?
Yeah.
So he's doubled his work.
Yeah. So
he can shut up and quit bitching. He's getting more work now. But it's clever how that's an iconic shot of how he goes, is he's in a waterbed. Finally, there's a waterbed, really representing 1980s culture with sleeping. And you have a backlit waterbed, which is super strange. And he gets pulled, or Freddy bursts through this waterbed, and which stops him from being able to use his voice power if it's still a thing they're even attempting to do. They don't seem to really utilize dream powers of the original Warriors in this. Right. We don't see... we do see Ken Sagoes push a car over.
Yeah.
But I feel he could do that on his own anyway. But we don't get to see him do super strength. We don't get to see Rodney Eastman speak in a deafening tone. And we get no gymnastics work from Tuesday Night.
Yeah, none. So that is kind of weird. It was like, you remember that stuff from the Dream Warriors? Never mind.
You can't do that now.
Yeah. Fun little side note, the lady who is in the waterbed, the naked poster lady,
Yeah.
she is one of the leads in Slumber Party Massacre 3.
I knew you'd be like, I know those breasts.
Well, and she doesn't show her breasts in Slumber Party Massacre 3, but she was a stunt woman or something of that nature.
You would have to be to do this kind of stunt. Like, it's worrisome.
Yeah, be underwater a whole bunch.
Yeah. And have a plastic, like, cover, like, blocking your way out.
I can't breathe. But, because she did a stunt in Slumber Party Massacre 3 where she got thrown through a sliding glass door. And when I was covering Slumber Party Massacre 3, I started deep diving into all these people, and I'm like, wow, that's the girl from Elm Street 4. So that's just been in my brain for a couple of years now.
If only we could have got the nurse to make a return and be in the waterbed. That'd have been fantastic. Like he has like a love note like from her, like a postcard on the side of his bed, like because he's officially left the hospital. He's better now, and it's her. It's like congrats for getting out and stuff. And he still just thinks about her, and there she comes back in the waterbed. That'd have been tying maybe a bit too much back. It's like we don't want to do that Wes Craven movie now. We don't like him at the moment. Man.
That whole thing between Bob Shea and Wes is bothersome, but
Because Wes is a story man and Bob is a money man.
yeah, for sure. And you can definitely tell in this film, because I already brought it up, like the story is fairly absent. This movie is just a movie of set piece, kill, set piece, kill, give Freddy some fun one-liners, and also light it really funky. Give it that Italian lighting just because.
Yeah, we talked about it in the last episode of how neon green is just associated with this film for me. I see neon green lights. I'm like, yep, I'm feeling Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 for sure. But, unlike some other franchises, I still feel some connection to the characters we get introduced to that are new in this one. Like I like Dan. I feel like we're in the minority. I really like Dan. He just seems like a nice guy. A lot of people give him shit for just being like a Neanderthal goofy guy, but I'm like, I like Dan. Dan's a good guy. I like Rick.
Yeah, Rick's my favorite.
Rick is awesome. Alice. Yeah, everybody. Debbie. They're all just still unique characters, and we get a little bit of kind of a backstory, just character development with all of them. They're not just faces. Mm-hmm. As Bob Kelso would say, listen up, faces. No, we actually have different people portraying them, and we can tell.
With different phobias and things of that nature, which come back to haunt them. And that is one thing that I've always loved about this movie. And I didn't know about it until we watched the Never Sleep Again, how Rick's death was supposed to be like way more elaborate and fucking super cool, and he's supposed to have like a kung fu fight with Freddy and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he just shows up to shoot one day, and they're like, "Hey, we filmed your death scene yesterday." Like, what? My death scene? How?
Then
How'd you film that?
Then the same shit happened in the next movie with Mark. Like Mark, he shows up and they're like, "You died yesterday." Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. How? What? Okay.
Well, the thing I can tie into that is I just remembered this is also when that fight was going on. They were also not sure how to finish the movie, like how to kill off Freddy, because at the same time all this is going on, there's also a writer's strike that's about to take effect. So people are scrambling to get an ending to this movie on top of building characters and an overarching story for the film. As they're battling the time to get it done before all these writers go, I'm out.
Yeah, and we got to. I mean, as far as endings go, I know I already talked about how I think that 2 has the weakest ending in the series. Let's give him a kiss and he'll spontaneously combust or whatever.
Love hurts, man.
But with this film, I'm not overly sold on the Freddy sees his reflection and it kills him, because he fucking appears in mirrors and does all kinds of shit in the previous film. But
literally a whole scene where he's in a hall of mirrors.
Yeah. directly across from one another. So
Yeah, he just should be ripping himself apart in the last movie if that's the logic.
right, but not so much the mirror. Like that mirror shit, it's not that awesome. But what happens after is awesome. All the souls freeing themselves from him. That's one of my all-time favorite sequences. They used this big, giant, oversized Freddy puppet, and then they used real Robert, and all of these crazy things that they did to make this sequence work. And it's just like, when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, fuck him up. Like, there's like a
he's turning against himself. The evil's turning against himself. I would just combine, if I could, the two. Like, bury him in sacred ground from part 3. Give me the whole burial bit, but instead of him twirling and going up into a bunch of gold light,
rotoscoped gold light.
Yeah, like once he gets the cross on his head, that's when all the souls, because we get introduced to the souls in part 3. What better way than to have all those souls turn against him and rip him from the inside out at the end of that movie? That would combine both of them, and then you got the ultimate vanquishing of Freddy to me. But yeah, I like that. That has a sense to it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that works for me. Something that doesn't quite work for me is Sheila's death.
Oh, you're not a big fan of that one, huh?
I mean, I can't hardly find anything bad to say about stuff in this film, but if I'm thinking about it, what the fuck is going on there? What the hell comes out of her desk and attacks her face?
I don't know, some little cyberpunk robot rigamaroo.
That whole, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that robot thing is weird, and I feel like that's Rennie Harlan going, well, they have a robot hand to come out of the desk there. I don't know what accent that was, but...
Finnish, clearly.
Yeah, I'm clearly a great Finnish impersonator.
You can tap into that Finnish accent like that, just bam, you got it.
Allow me to finish my thought. Hi-oh. No, yeah, just the best part of that sequence is when Freddy grabs her and literally, like, sucks her soul out of her. Man, that, like, the face that she's making when he pulls away from her, and it's obviously a dummy, right?
Yeah.
But, like, dude, you know what it looks like? And it just clicked in my brain. It looks like the bride in Serpent and the Rainbow when she lifts the veil and the fucking, like, python shoots out of the face. That's what she looks like. It's fucking scary.
It is. It's good. It's a weird kind of callback also to the original. Like it's a kill that could be disguised as just a happenstance death.
Mm-hmm. Fatal asthma.
So yeah, I like the build up to Sheila's actual death. The whole thing coming out of the desk thing is fucking weird. I would love to know what the hell the explanation is on what the hell happened to Rick. Did he just blow up from a massive shit in the bathroom? Or what? Because we see him go into the toilet, go to take a shit, fall asleep on the toilet, and then, yeah, we get the whole fight sequence in the dream. But when we go back, smash cut back to reality, Alice is just in a classroom, knows that Rick just died, and then a window blows up next to the class. I'm like, so what happened to Rick?
I don't think the window blowing up has anything to do with what happened to Rick's body in the real world. I think with Alice, there's a lot of, it's almost like a, that psychic connection with previous victims. So there's always something
She got some carry powers, you think?
Yeah, there's always something like external in the world around her that happens when each character dies. When Debbie gets mooshed, she kind of has like a...
Yeah, she has like a body motion thing, but the truck is still fine.
Like a mild heart attack. Yeah. So I don't know, and maybe it's...
I always thought the bathroom just blew up. Like he had a truck driver shit that just boom.
Everybody out of this bathroom! I'm about to blow it up.
Yeah, that's why it's a closed casket. When we see Rick's funeral, we don't see the body because it's just in pieces, covered in shit.
I just imagine, he just died in his sleep on the toilet. So they're like, well, he died of exhaustion,
Well, that makes that makes less sense than a 17-year-old with fatal asthma. Like he just died from a stressful poo.
Well, he was tired. He was exhausted because he hadn't been sleeping, and that coach was running him ragged. So that could fall back on the school, like, he's pushing us a little hard in wrestling practice or whatever. But
I mean, it could, but he's 17. Like, did you even need to sleep when you were 17?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But one of my all-time favorite sequences in this movie doesn't even have anything to do with Freddy, really. Again, because I saw this film at such a young age, and I've talked about it previously, that as a kid, I kind of used horror as a coping mechanism for real-life trauma, whether that be, parental stuff or deaths in the family, things of that nature. And so, like, I have, like, a really weird grasp on death as a child, and I used to, like, think about family members who passed away and, like, almost daydream that they were sitting in the chair next to me, and, like, things like that. And so the sequence when they're at Rick's grave and Rick opens up the coffin and is talking to her, like, that hit, like, home on so many levels. It's not even funny. And I think we all want that. Like, we all think about that when we're at a funeral or whatever. Like, God, if they could just, like, sit up and say, like, hey, man, it's all good, or whatever. One more, just give me one more goddamn sentence, so I can be okay with this. And like that scene is like, I'm getting misty-eyed right now just fucking thinking about it.
Can't deny there's definitely, even 10 years after losing somebody, I'd still give about anything for one last few minute conversation bits. Mm-hmm. But you got several kind of emotional stories and ties to this movie. Would you want to share yet one more time the tale of how you acquired one of the most gnarly props in film history that is currently still in your possession? I haven't killed you and taken it yet, but I do have an overarching plan of sabotaging you one day. Betrayal 5.
Food poisoning. So what Evil is referring to is... I've made a couple of videos in the vein of this on the YouTube channel, but as a kid, probably around the time I was 14, 15, it's in that ballpark area. I have a real hard time pinpointing the exact moment that this happened, but I used to get on the slow as shit internet and look up celebrities' home addresses so I could mail them fan mail. Because we did a thing in school one time where they gave us a list of celebrities and we could mail fan mail. And one time I mailed some fucking shitty baseball player a letter, and I don't even watch baseball, and I got back a signed 8x10. So I was like, I can do this and maybe I'll get an autograph. So I started deep diving on the internet and finding people's addresses. And so I wrote a handful of letters to multiple people from horror films. And I sent Kevin Yeager a letter. And I was expressing how I really wanted to go to Tom Savini school. And I was, mildly talented at these things that I.
And a quick bit, if anyone doesn't know, who is Kevin Yeager?
Kevin Yeager is a super famous makeup effects artist who did a lot of
famous
to us. Yeah, but he also, is primarily responsible for a handful of really good things in the Elm Street franchise. So I sent him this letter and kind of, like about a 2-page letter, which felt like I was writing a novel as a kid, and just kind of professing like, hey, I do this, I do that. Yada yada. And I send a really, really shitty mask thing that I had made. I had attempted to make a Michael Myers mask, and it was bad. But as a 14, 15-year-old kid, I thought I was the shit, So I mail this thing out to him, and I feel like it's summer. Like, I'm almost positive it's summer, and I'm like out doing things every day, and come home one day, and Mom's like, you've got a package. I'm like, well, okay.
Now,
And-
also clarification, this is also when we didn't get mail all the time.
Yeah, we were kids, yeah.
And yeah, packages were like the holy grail. Like, Amazon wasn't a thing. Like, packages didn't just show up at the door. So when a package shows up, you're like,
What could this
call
be?
the
'Cause-
neighbors, we're gonna have an opening.
So I get this box, and have my mom help me cut it open, because I don't even think she even trusted me with scissors at the time. And, first of all, there's a letter in there, and I wish to God I still had this letter.
It was a cease and desist.
Yeah, like don't do this anymore. No, I've lived through multiple floods, and a lot of my horror stuff when we had our first kid got put down in the basement, and I'm 99% sure that's in the, like, let's just scoop it out with snow shovels and throw it away. But I get this letter, and it's pretty much like, hey man, this is a great age to start, anybody can do this, just keep at it, really like encouraging. And it's like, anybody can do this type of thing, and I want you to stay at it. I want you to stay focused and really go for it. And it's like, if I can do it, anybody can. Something to that effect at the end of this letter. And in this box is a hero glove from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. And it's like, in the letter, it's like, this was on Elm Street 4. There was only a handful of them made. And it's like, just keep doing it. Just keep doing your thing. And so I just fucking lost my shit, and I've had this glove ever since, and it's been 20-something years since it got in my possession.
Yeah, and if you watch some of our past YouTube videos, it makes an occasional pop up here and there. So when you see it, you're like, that's the hero glove. It looks and feels like it too. I've tried it on, of course. How could I not? When it was
The pinky is weird.
The pinky, I think on every Freddy glove is fucked up. Like, every replica I've ever put on, I've got 2 on my desk right now, and both times I've tried to wear it, like, the pinky never fucking works right.
So I don't know.
It's just part of the makeup of it, I guess.
We've tried to, like, match it, because Evil and I we're the type of people who will watch Elm Street 4 over and over and over again, and just to try and figure out where this particular glove was used. And him and I have both kind of theorized. Is it the glove that he touches Sheila's face with? Is it the glove from the final showdown in the church? I don't know. I had sent Sean Clark some pictures a few years back, and there was no, like, further investigation. I was like, I think you're the guy. And he's like, just ask Kevin. And I'm like, that feels weird. Like, I don't know. I don't want to reach out to Kevin Yeager.
I mean, I'm
scared.
I think it's time we do that, because
Right.
One, we just need to know if it is really true that this is, and I have no doubt that it is one of the gloves from Part 4, but if you could recall where it was, can we get more autographs from you? And just include in that, well, I didn't keep on making masks, but I did go on and do this, and here's a copy of Tapehead. So, maybe he'll send that bust that he has in, like, his office of Freddy getting pulled apart by the souls that we've seen on some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. He's got so much cool shit.
Kevin Yeager, do you want to come to my birthday party? We're going to have pizza and cake.
I think we should just call him and get him on the show. I feel like he would do the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Kevin Yeager on the show.
And you also have a piece of screen-used memorabilia from this film.
If Raj has the holy grail of props from Part 4, I've got the participation award level of it, because I've had to just buy mine outright off of eBay, and it's super insignificant, but it's got its authenticity cards and shit with it, but it's literally just a few strings of the sweater from being, I'm not sure if that's being torn apart. I'm assuming torn apart from the either the giant Freddy chest of souls that is used, or torn apart during the whole end sequence. But I feel like it's got to probably be from that. But I've got some strands of the screen used sweater from Nightmare 4. So we both have props, but yeah, you have the Holy Grail and I've got the participation award.
They are glorious. You know what you should do? I don't know why I just thought of this. Evil's wife does a lot of like she'll make she'll make you like hats. Like you have your Elm Street colored hat. You should have her make you a hat, but use those strands.
Weave it in. Oh,
yeah.
I couldn't.
And then you literally be wearing Freddy's sweater.
I couldn't do it because I have a tendency to lose things. So I just took those strands. I put it in with the all the pictures, the screen production shots, and the authenticity letter, and actually just lumped it in with one of the original art pieces from Anya, who did our original artwork for the YouTube channel, and just framed it all up and have it in the bedroom. So it's just on the wall forever. I'm never gonna do anything else with it, but just look at it and go, there it was. I had a list of some things I needed to get for Elm Street memorabilia, and then I could safely say I don't need, didn't say want, need, I can stop my quest for things, and it was to get that OG Part 2 poster again, and to get me some original screen-used prop from any of the damn movies. So now that I've got it, journey complete, quest 1.
No, we'll be on the hunt for more screen-used props.
I definitely won't turn down. I won't turn down more stuff, but I don't feel like I don't have that need. Like I need this desire before I die. Now it's like bonus points time.
Speaking of dying, let's go back to Freddy's resurrection in this film.
Piss fire.
I know we've talked about this because we were on the Cult 45 podcast and we were kind of discussing different aspects of these films, and there's some theorizing, because some people say that the resurrection that happens in this film is more meaningful than what I take it for. There's all this, and I'm like, what do I think of it? A dog pissed fire and the earth cracked open. Like, it's stupid. I don't know what the fucking symbolism is there. It's stupid as shit, but I love every second of it.
I work backwards. I work forwards to then work backwards. So my explanation would not come until 2003. So since Kristen still has the fear for Freddy, once she starts bringing that shit back up to the other Dream Warriors, that's when, and Ken Sago starts thinking about it again, that's when his fear starts creeping back in. So once it's said and the fear starts up just a little bit, that's when a resurrection can occur, because Ken Sagos ain't fucking worried about shit until Kristen starts having dreams, pulling him into it, talking about he's coming back. And of course, Ken his character is like, he's dead, signed, and sealed. But he might subconsciously have that in the back of his mind going, man, what the fuck if? And then things unroll, and there it is. Yeah,
but as far as the whole dog pissing fire,
that's just bizarre.
It is overly bizarre. There you go, Rennie Harlan, you crazy, crazy bastard.
I would love to see the audience reaction in 1988 then of like, this dog just lifts his leg and fire piss everywhere.
The hidden dog pisses out fire.
Yep, we were like, that's the dog from the hidden.
Damn right. And the ground cracks open, which this is one of my all-time favorite things ever. Reverse photography.
Oh yes, the reassembling.
I love it so much. Like, so much so that I even had to do a reverse photography shot in our movie. Like, it's one of those things that I was like, I need to do this. I want to do this. I love the fact that they basically had a wax. They kind of did the same shit they did in part 2. They have like a wax Kruger bust, and they just heat it up and time lapse it and then reverse that footage. So it's like all that liquid is like pulling up and reforming. Sure, you could do that with CGI and it would look like shit, but you could do it. But there is no substitute for that wax sculpture reassembling and then cutting away and then cutting back to real Robert, like or to an animatronic. I think it's an animatronic.
Yeah, the animatronic turning its head. I can almost hear the robot gears turning on the head.
Yep. Sarah Connor.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your dreams.
You forgot to say please. But yeah, so we get Kruger out of the ground in this junkyard, which
he's out of the ground
setting.
He's coming out of the ground.
A Tremors 1 reference, deep cut. But this is a place that we really only get to visit in Elm Street 3 and 4 is this junkyard, and it is central to Freddy's demise, his earthly demise, because his bones were buried there. I really wish we went back in multiple. I mean, we always go back to the boiler room. We go back to the sanitarium, where Amanda Kruger was raped and Freddy was conceived. But we don't ever go back to this junkyard. And boy, what a set piece, dude.
Oh, I love it.
It's scary. It's fucking run down. You got cool beams of light and dust. And that whole sequence of Freddy kind of playing, it's like he's playing hide and seek. He's trying to hunt for Kincaid. And when he is in the shadows and the light just hits his eyes and he's...
Yeah. He's making those weird fucking noises.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Like,
I make the same noises when I get out of bed.
Yeah. But that's the point at the beginning of this film, because the tone, we're not quite sure of what tone we're getting. And, we get the dog pissing fire, we're like, haha. And then we first get Kruger, and that's the first kill in the film, is Kincaid's kill. And if you were to judge the tone of this film off of Kincaid's kill, you would go, well, he's still pretty scary. I mean...
Pretty scary, and man, did I feel like Kincaid got short shifted. Like this is a smash cut to him like realizing he's in a world of a junkyard, and then bam, he's getting the fucking blades stuck in his gut. Maybe one of the last times that Kruger kills somebody with his claw.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, for sure.
Yeah, he starts using other tactics to kill folks. Is maybe one of the last times he uses the actual claw to commit murder. But
you're a roach.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that shot? Since I know we'll get to that Roach here in a hot minute, but talking about practical and visual effects, how do you like that visual effect of that pullout of Kincaid in the junkyard? And it kind of it goes back and shows like a shot of the globe, and the globe is just this giant fucking junkyard.
Oh, I love that. There you go, matte paintings, things like that really kind of elevate a movie. And again, sure, nowadays you could just CGI junkyard forever.
Doesn't look as good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel the same. And that pullout,
yeah,
chef's kiss, dude.
It's almost seamless. And right there with it is something I still can't figure out, even to this day, is the pickup truck smash, because. We get the looping. We get Alice and Dan in the truck. Alice is falling asleep and sees that Freddy's in the middle of the road. Always like the cool shot of him is standing in the middle of the road too.
Mm-hmm. And the camera comes up real close.
Yeah, she's just gonna fucking just roll over him, just smash into him. Jason Goes to Hell
his
style.
Ticket in.
And she smashes into it, and you just get this shot of the car like wrapping around invisible nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, of course, she wakes up and they hit a tree. But I always thought it looked really wild how they didn't hit something, but it looked like they hit something. And it's a real truck.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the only thing that I can think of, again, is reverse photography, like with John Carpenter's Christine.
Like they smashed it and pulled it back kind of thing?
Yeah, like everything was kind of on like, what am I trying to say? Fucking hydraulics or whatever. Like, so they just, smash it and then they pull it in. They use pressure to pull that dent in. And then they run it backwards. But now that I say that out loud, it doesn't seem like it would work because the truck in my brain is in motion when that shot happens.
Yeah, like it could totally be they just smash cut and it's already got that that damage to the truck and they just pull it like it was hit backwards and maybe mine just wants to think it made contact with something before it like had the reaction of hitting something. But however it is, it still looks a million times better. Like to compare it to another thing that doesn't work with computer graphics is Constantine. As we see the dude digging up the spear in Constantine, and he gets hit by a truck, and it's very computer graphic-y and doesn't look. There's no realness to it, as opposed to this, where it's completely the opposite.
Yeah. Things were better back in the day, that's all I'm going to say.
Things were just better, just plain and simple. And then we have the more visual awesome effects. Screaming Mad George doing his fucking thing. We get Debbie turning into a goddamn roach.
Mm-hmm. Which, again, they use some rear projection type stuff.
I love that. The giant eye.
Oh, God. It's perfect. Those are the types of things that they just sit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make that stick. They sit. They make my butthole wet. Like, that's the type of thing when I look at that and I go, I mean, how fucking genius. It's genius to be like, we're going to put a big fucking theater screen on the other side of this prop box that we built, and you just time out your acting, but you're seeing it in real time. That's the difference with green screen or computer animation. Like, this is, I get to act real time with this giant eyeball.
And the movement of it, because we see it moving. Because it's what we're seeing is that she's in a Roach motel, and Freddy's is walking around holding it like it's a actual size Roach motel. And then we get, I did not realize this would be the debate it is. But it's been a debate at the house, and I can't remember if it's a debate with you or not. But the kill of Debbie is she's in the Roach motel, she's stuck in the glue. We get the shot of Freddy holding it, and he squeezes it and crushes the box, and we see some type of goo, liquid
apple
goo,
juice, baby,
hot warm liquid goo phase. This goo shoot out of the end of the box, and it's been debated, at least between the wife and I. She thinks that's Debbie's like guts or something, like that's gore shooting out. And I'm like, no, that's the fucking glue inside the trap.
It's totally gore, dude. It's not glue. The glue's too thick. The glue is too thick. What comes out of there is almost transparent, like applesauce. Like
almost,
or
but
not
I'm like,
applesauce, apple juice.
They're like, that looks like the glue. I'm like, that's just a really
shitty glue trap?
Yes.
That if you fucking tilt it, it just spills the glue out?
I mean, shit, it might. That's why they had the curved edges on those boxes. We don't know how the glue traps were made back in 1988, man. We have super sophisticated ones now, which, they're
that's
just
true.
Sticky pads, but I can totally buy the, like, I look at it, I'm like, that's a Roach Motel glue, man.
It is most definitely not, dude.
Is it goo or glue? That should be, there's your subtitle for this episode. And
it is goo.
Tell us, whose side are you on? Roger or Evil's goo or glue?
I'm right, you're wrong, and let me tell you why. No, it could totally be viewed either way, but I always thought it was like viscera. I always thought it was like comic booky, the way for them to Evil Dead 2 it. Like, man, if he squeezes that and a bunch of fucking blood shoots out, like X rating, they were probably like, give it a weird color, make it weird. I mean, it's fucking Rennie Harlan. Yeah, make it weird.
You don't sound black enough, and make the blood clear.
That's another thing we haven't brought up is
6'4", yeah, like Finnish guy definitely knows how the black folk talk.
You almost sound more like Pam Grier. Talking more like a Pam Grier.
Yeah, you you didn't say jive ass motherfucker at all.
You gotta call all boys honey. Like, like, what the fuck is that dude? Where does he get off, like, cornering Toy Newkirk and being like, you gotta sound more black? Like,
and I
only in the fucking 80s are you allowed.
Yeah, he's not immediately fired and canceled, and then we never hear from him again.
Right. Excuse me, actress.
I love when I got to share that knowledge with Beat 'em Down from Cult 45, because immediately I messaged with him here and there on when he was watching the series for the first time, and when he got done with 4, he had to message and tell me how much he just fell in love with Sheila Toy Newkirk, and I was like, I've talked to her a little bit on Facebook. I have her as a patch on my Elm Street jacket. Hey, did you know that she was told she didn't act black enough for this movie?
What the fuck does that mean?
I would love to see Toy Newkirk just chewing fucking Rennie Harlan's ass out.
It'd be more hilarious if, like, she walked off set and then came back and was in, like, windbreakers and, like, you know, had a high top fade and, like, was carrying a boombox and was like, "This black enough for you?" Like, the fuck? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
No,
she's amazing.
Oh no, she's fantastic. I just fucking love Toy's work in this, and I would love to see more.
She gets the Brown Panty Award for me, 100%.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I completely spaced on our Brown Panty achievement, but yeah, Sheila deserves all the Brown Panty Awards. Let me see them. Let me see them all. Well,
she's such a badass. Like, here's the other thing. I mean, we did talk about it at the beginning.
She's the fucking Doc Brown of this school, man. She's building, like, high frequency roach repellent.
Yeah, but that's, you know, we were talking about how we do get a little bit of time with these characters, save the original Dream Warriors. They get bumped off real
get them
quick.
The fuck out of here.
But we get some time with Toy Newkirk and with Rick and with Dan, and we kind of start to get familiar with them and who they are and what makes them tick. To me, that's where Elm Street differs from all other things, and I talked about it when we talked about the first Elm Street, is there is a level of character development, even if in this film there is a lack of story per se. These people are likable. You are in their corner, and it's weird for you to like the victims, be in the victim's corner, but also be rooting for Freddy. It's a very weird
headspace.
Like, yeah, very weird hill to stand on while watching the movie. Like, which side do I lean towards? You know, I'm at the peak of this mountain. I could either be on the side of the victims or the side of the killer. And this is where the whole franchise kind of shifts. And even if you have likable characters, you still want Freddy to fucking kill them all.
I'm just curious what else that she made, that Toy Newkirk's character made at home. Like, does she have the automatic dog feeding tool there? Was she about to make a time machine out of a DeLorean? Did she live close next to the Doc Brown estates?
You go into her room and it's like fucking Ernest Goes to Jail, like his
She's
house.
got a breakfast machine?
Yeah, I got the breakfast machine, takes a fucking bath in the washing machine. Like, she's just super fucking weird.
Gotta make this thing for Debbie. Yes, but yeah, all the love for the Toy Newkirk character. I'd love to see her other inventions at home, because she's just like, and Debbie hates roaches. I want to make this high-powered frequency thing that repels roaches for her.
Yep,
looks like a goddamn bomb.
Yeah, you cannot nowadays. You wouldn't be able to bring that in school.
Oh yeah, she's immediately expelled. Like, what the fuck is that?
Macing her and shit. Like, shh.
I can already see the news report. Like, they tried to pass it off as a roach repellent.
Yeah. Nobody even knows what that is.
Get that shit out of here. Yeah, and apparently in the dream world, that device And she just carries that shit around with her while she's in class, like this thing just hanging off her belt like a goddamn Batman accessory. But in the dream world, this thing, if you run a power cable through it, it becomes like a proton pack.
Yeah, pretty much. So weird.
Fires a high-powered laser beam through Freddy's chest.
Which was where I wanted to get to next, was that whole end sequence. Man, okay, so you got the church, which is amazing set design.
Love that shit.
So good. You've got the stained glass window with all the different lights coming in.
The pews, the fight on the pews.
Yeah, that whole fight sequence between them.
She kicks the shit out of it.
Oh, dude. But here, like, that's another thing that for me is something that is nightmare fuel, or that I have a problem with in my dreams, and I think I talked about it a few weeks back, is how absolutely weak I feel in dreams. And I don't know if that's just my subconscious. Like, if I ever were to try to pick something up in a dream, I couldn't, or if I was trying to hit something, I wouldn't be able to hit it hard enough. And in this movie, when she finally squares off against Freddy straight up Tyler Durden's her. Like, she's fucking hitting him in the face, and he's just laughing at her, and to me that is horrifying. Like, I am giving you all of my opposition. I am putting it all into you, and you could not be less impressed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is so scary to me. Like, I am trying to kill you. It's different, like, you know, when you, like, Halloween 4, like Grady or whatever his fucking name is, trying to fight Michael at the top of the steps. Like, hits him a couple times, and then Michael stops him. Yeah, you just no-sell it a couple times, and then snap their neck or whatever. This is different. Krueger is selling it and also laughing in her face.
I just want that on a loop. Like, can we just put that, like, him getting punched just on a 5-minute loop? I would... Yeah. I would fucking love just to see that just on a continual loop. If that's a nightmare thing for you, something that was a nightmare realization for me, a crushing one is, I totally believed after this movie that every quiet, super meek girl in high school had like a badass wardrobe accessory kit they just had not yet pulled out. Like, I still to this day have never seen the leather straps over shoes thing done ever anywhere else ever, but I totally felt like every wormy, nerdy little girl in high school has a spiked bracelet in their fucking dresser drawer.
They go home and fucking dress up like they're a biker gang.
Yeah, like it's totally the dominatrix chicks from the movie Tomcats. Like, you just hit like a lever on a stuffed animal and it brings the bed up, and you have all these paddles and shit that come out from a revolving door.
Whoa.
You beat the living shit out of me.
Catch a glimpse of those warlocks. But that whole end sequence, I mean, we already talked about, like, him tearing himself apart or whatever. But you do get Scream Queen Linnea Quigley's chest attempting to burst out of Krueger's chest.
I had
awesome.
I had her sign my Elm Street Blu-ray collection, and I liked that Zach from Atomic Cotton, our T-shirt affiliate, was there, and he's like, "What was she in this?" I was like, "She was the tits in Freddy's chest in Part 4."
Yep. Push, Linnea.
Put your chest out, Linnea. We know why you're here. Show us.
Yes. But yeah, dude, that whole finale, top to bottom, amazing. And again, this is just one of my all-time favorite movies in general, not just Elm Street films. Very fun, very fast. This is an any time of day movie, even despite the fact that there is the waterbed sequence and there's Linnea's breasts in the chest. Like, those things happen so fast, and there's no gratuitous sex or anything, that this movie passes. You can watch this at 10 o'clock in the morning if you want, and
I did
it's fine.
for several years. Like,
yes,
this kind of was like, if I knew a big Saturday was coming, we're gonna be going out, like, shopping and having, like, going out to eat kind of thing. Like, I get up before everyone else does anyway. Like, I'm gonna watch this movie, kind of set my tone for the day.
Yep.
And sidebar, I don't know what kind of category you fall into if you're like the turn on is watching Linnea's tits push through Freddy's chest. Like,
Right.
I don't know what fetish site that belongs in, but it's somewhere. Pornhub,
Yeah.
I'm sure, has a section for it.
It's very Society-esque, which Screaming Mad George.
Society. Oh, I am a butthead.
On that note, I think we've covered the movie for about an hour, so we should probably move on to the next segment, Evil.
Oh, you mean the dreaded segment when we talk about a movie we love so much as this, that we have to look at the folks who just didn't like this movie at all. So much they had to go onto the Zon and tell us, I hate this movie, and here's why. So it's time for them old Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
Got a few of them on this one. Not a whole lot, but we got a few, like Matthew T. Ryan. I like they had to put it in the initial, Matthew T. Ryan. Not the
Matthew Tryon.
Don't be fucking lumping me with them other Matt Ryans. Those guys are dicks. Unlike me, on February 3rd, 2001.
Woo!
1 star, poopy. The next installment was really bad. I really didn't like the actors or the plot. It got really boring at the part where Alice was driving in circles. So when he says the next installment, is he talking about part 5 or is he talking about this movie?
I don't know. I was assuming he was getting at how part 5 was bad.
Assuming is the mother of all fuck-ups.
Yes.
But he didn't like
I
the I mean, we use that all the time when we forget something and have to get double back to the house or whatever. Like, I have to hurry. I'm driving.
Yes, we do.
I would have loved to seen that reaction also in theaters for the first time. Like, people like, the fucking thing loop? Like, did we just see this?
What's happening?
What's going on?
I think the tape's broke.
That projectionist must be high.
I'm high, man. I was high.
He must have been doing that Mary Giwanna.
Did you hear something?
No, but I smell something.
I was waiting for must have been nothing.
Must have been nothing. What? Now I'm seeing shit. Too much blow, man.
Seeing Tammy Lynn Sitch
Not anymore. She's back in jail. Spoiler.
back in jail.
All right, next up, it's Azine Monroe
All right.
on July 5th, 2002. 1 star, bad movie. What a mockery of the original! This movie was so pathetic. The story was so laid out with no detail. What happened to Wes Craven's masterpiece? Do not buy this thing. This was not supposed to be a Freddy movie. Believe me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It is different from Wes Craven's film for sure, but I mean, we already talked about that. Like,
Yeah. Just rewind like an hour and you'll get all that explanation. Azine Monroe. Next on the list is UU Metal. April 14th, 2006. UU Metal says 1 star. Not that good. I'm a big fan of the series, but this is the worst of all of them.
wow. All right.
UU Metal, no here. And to wrap up the 1 stars for our Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, we have In Malcolm. Just the letter in Malcolm. We're not in Malcolm. We're
gonna
inside Malcolm.
It's warm in here.
Yeah. Malcolm is the warmest place to hide.
Squishy.
But on July 25th, 2006, oh, gosh, it's weird to say, almost retro 1 star reviews today. But he says 1 star. What? You know, if I really wanted to, I could take a dump on film and it'd be better than this.
Does he have more to say, or is that it?
No, well, I mean, where else do you go? And then I could take a shit on, which I'm sure he means like he could film himself taking a shit and it'd be better. But I really, honestly, when I read that, I picture him just like unspooling a roll of film and taking a shit on actual film.
Boom, booming on it. Those are my least favorite types of reviews because I'm like, go do it. Shut the fuck up. This dude had to go get on the internet to be like, man, I could do better. Well, do it. I hate that. I fucking hate that, like, approach to... That's the only type of Amazon review I don't like. I get really mad at that person who's like, well, I could do this better. And then I just fucking do it then.
That's a Bart Simpson thing. I could do that, but I don't want to.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
That is the conclusion.
Ow, quit it.
That is all the Amazon 1 stars for A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Not too bad, but some harsh ones in there. Shitting on film.
The last one really got my dander up.
It's going to stick in your craw.
Yeah, as they say, done did stuck in my craw. But now that we're done with the Amazon 1-star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to throw on the Dramarama, grab your nunchucks, stand in front of a big flag of Japan, because it's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's all about the game and how you play it. Take that motherfucker. Ah!
Yes, that's right. It is time to play the prop game. And if you're new to the Deep Cut podcast, welcome. Allow me to explain what the prop game is. The prop game is a deep cut in and of itself where you have to pick a prop from said film that we are discussing, but it cannot be the most obvious prop. So again, this is the Elm Street franchise. Do not pick Freddy's glove, Freddy's hat, Freddy's sweater. That's bullshit. That's a cop-out. You're listening to the Deep Cut podcast, so you must, and I mean must, pick a prop that's off the beaten track. You have to pick a deep cut prop.
Go deep or go home.
Or get out.
Go deep or get fucked.
Get fucked deep. Wait. Holy shit, off the rails.
Crucifix deep. What? Call back to the Exorcist live stream. Deep cut.
Deep cunts.
Oh.
Ayo. That was some Andrew Dice Clay O's right there. But we already brought it up. Evil and I each own props from this movie, so see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, we're done. we did this earlier. All right. Well, that concludes this week for...
Just kidding. Well, dude, you brought it up numerous times, and I think that the only route that I want to go is the fucking, like, I'm going to get kicked out of school for bringing this bug zapper.
I mean, nothing wrong with it. I'm sure. I think it runs on 4D batteries, probably.
The only other thing that I really, really want from this film is Rick's headband.
That's not bad.
So, you know what? Yeah, I'll go with Rick's headband.
Yeah.
Because, karate.
Well, Rick's headband. Why? Karate time.
I bought one off of Amazon when we did our spoof of Dramarama.
Oh, yes. Go to our music video section of YouTube and watch our Nightmare on Elm Street 4 dedication music video. Good shit.
Where we exercise.
Yeah. First I've done in a long time. Normally I just do these 12-ounce curls on the live stream, but I was torn on a couple of things. Initially, the first thing I thought of that'd be cool to take is the tape that Alice is watching of all of them just hanging out at the water fountain. Listening
you need that because that's more behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, I do. But if I didn't go with that, I was like the other thing that was like that'd be amusing to take. Give me Alice's aquarium-soaked shoe.
Nice. Just the aquarium with the shoe in it.
No, I just want the shoe just in its own thing. Like if you get close and smell it, you can smell like the old dank water from the tank in there. There might be a goldfish still inside the shoe. At least a few pebbles.
I want Bob Shays like pointer stick. He's pointing at the.
He is such like a worn the fuck down teacher, man. Like
yeah.
He has this a throwaway scene where he's like a history teacher, and he just is like he's 3 classes away from jumping off the roof of this building.
You know who he reminds me of in this movie? He reminds me of like he's doing a Ben Stein impression. Dry red eyes. Like he's really trying to do that.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller.
that really unenergetic, just tired voice.
I mean, when he's having a real bad day, he's kind of like Ted from Scrubs.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like he's on the roof,
Oh,
like
man.
one foot sticking out over, and he's like, "Go ahead, Bob. Take all the time you need." And the principal's down there like, "You ain't gonna do it, Mr. Shea. You ain't got enough guts."
I don't want to think about him. Man, I'm going to be all sad all day.
Well, about Bob Shea or Ted?
Ted from Scrubs, man.
Ted is the shit, man.
Spoiler alert, I was super late to the Scrubs party.
I pushed him into it.
And Evil was like, "You've really got to watch Scrubs. We are like Turk and JD." So, and oddly enough, you let me borrow all the seasons, and I still didn't get to them. I watched a little bit of season 1, and then I was like, "I've had your seasons for far too long. Have them back." And then I stumbled across all the seasons on Amazon Prime, watched them, and then I really fell in love with Ted. And then out of nowhere, Evil just shoots my plane down and tells me, to make it even more depressing, he died. He died of cancer.
Ted's dead, man. Ted's dead.
And that sucks. That really sucks because he's super talented, funny guy, very talented musically. And now anytime I've got a bunch of his songs downloaded, and when I listen to them, I'm always happy. And then when they end, I'm like, sad.
We're a Worthless Peons fan for life.
Yes, I really am.
Oh, my chicken. We have like a part of his character trait has become like interwoven in real life for me, because we have a daughter when she's having a rough kind of day and she gets kind of mopey and shit. I like, "Oh, you turned into sad sack." And that's totally what they call like sad. Ted is our hospital sad sack. Really? Aww.
Aww. Why do you have a smiley face sticker and a revolver in your lunchbox? One's for when I'm sad, and one's for when I'm really sad.
I much prefer when Dr. Cox knocks over his huge stack of papers and is like, "Hey, say, Teddy, all these pages are blank." And he's like, "Shh, I have to look busy." Like, that's my dream job, is to carry around a bunch of shit just pretending to be busy.
He's so good.
Well, welcome to the Scrubs podcast, where
Right.
we've abandoned Elm Street entirely. We're just going to do a play-by-play of every episode of Scrubs. We're coming for you, best friend, Fake Doctors, Real Friends podcast. We're coming for you.
Wow, didn't know that was a thing. I might have to listen to it.
Yeah, totally a thing.
Yeah.
Turk and JD have their own podcast, Fake Doctors,
What?
Real Friends, and they
What?
review episodes of the show with
I did not
special
know
guests.
Wow. All right, well, my life is I just took another U-turn. I'm about to go.
Oh, Lord has it. You spoiler, you will love when when Bill Lawrence, the showrunner creator, has his guest spots on it. Maybe the best episodes are when he is one of the guest stars.
Nice. I'm pumped. Well, now I know what I'm doing with the rest of my day. That's not true. I'm going to go see Scream in about 2 hours.
That podcast also informed me that Johnny C refers to his private area as his power source.
Nice. I think we all do, right?
I got hit right in my power source.
Some of them are, a little more dim than others, but
Some, yeah, it's its own field. Like it's Bucky getting thrown into a whole circuit breaker, and some it's just a little light switch, just a think.
little Christmas light.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
a clapper. It's on.
And speaking of on that note, I suppose we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
Well, gotta go. Good night.
Wake up.